Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. I hope you're doing well. Well, one thing I'm noticing, there is a lot of prophecy that's coming out about ThreeI Atlas, and they may differ, but really the end result is pointing to change on Earth. And we know that change is coming because we're past the 400 years, and we know the Gentiles' rulership is coming to an end, although, they think they can. What makes me laugh is when they talk about a reset. First of all, if the same people remain in power, that's not a reset. Okay. That's not a reset. I don't care how y'all try to explain it. If the same people are in power, that is not a reset. All right. The reset means everything changes, including rulership. That's a reset. Anything other than that is not a reset because, it makes me laugh when they talk about it. Oh, it's going to be a reset. And then, but they're going to stay in power, but all these changes are going to happen. No, you can't stay in power. You know why? Because y'all would still go into the future with the same mindset that you have now, which means you would still be continuing on with racism, subjugation, oppression, still trying to, do little things in your laws to keep us down. That's why there is no future with that same mindset. There is none. And racism and all that's going to be the thing of the past. You're not going to be able to use your skin color to get ahead in the world. That stuff is coming to an end. So racism and all the stuff you're doing is on its last leg. I don't care what threats y'all make and how mean you look, and nobody cares about that stuff. You know, the bottom line is this is why you're tucking tail and running to military bases. Donald Trump and his staff running to military bases to hide. That ain't going to save you. There is no military base on this planet that's going to save you from the wrath of the Most High. Okay, not one. And the bottom line is everything's going to change from top to the bottom. The faces you're looking at the top will no longer be there anymore. So, and we know you're not ready for that. You're not ready. That's why ThreeI Atlas is scaring the hell out of you because you're not ready for that change. You can't imagine life not being at the top, but you're going to have to imagine it because that is going to be your reality. So, y'all, I want you to listen to the different things they're saying. But one thing, a notable thing I'm noticing, nobody is saying or talking about the switch in rulership. They know it's going to be changed, but they don't take that next step and say, okay, everything on this earth and how it runs and the people that are running it will all change. Because it's been painful, y'all. It's been a painful 400 plus years being under the dumbest people known to mankind ruling the world. It has been exceptionally painful. We have not learned nothing from these folks. When I start reflecting, even back when I was in school, we don't learn nothing from them because they're too busy sabotaging us. So their education is non-productive. It really is not productive at all. And when you even look at their colleges should be way more advanced than what they are. They're not. They're not. They can only take you so far. Remember, they got all kinds of limitations. So, that being said, they can only take you so far, and that's it. Why do you think you get on jobs and you can excel doing a job more than them? Because their brain can only get them so far. You end up teaching them, and some of them been on the job years before you got there, and you're teaching them. So, that being said, it would be crazy to keep the same people in place when change happens, because all they're going to do is what you see Donald Trump doing, trying to eliminate things and keep the white man strong above everyone else. That's all you're going to see them do if you kept them in rulership in the future. They're not going to do nothing but that. That's all. And we already seen that. We done seen that for centuries now. We don't need to see that no more. That shit is played out. We don't need to see it no more. Don't nobody want to see that bullshit. So I'm sorry, y'all. Just letting it rip. Sorry about that, y'all. Don't nobody want to see that crap anymore. And in order for ThreeI Atlas to be here, even they're tired of this crap going on this earth. Even they have to show up, because things are never going to be right unless you switch out the people in charge. There is no righteousness under a Gentile, plain and simple. So let me share my screen so we can get started. And if you haven't been over to my store, you need to get over there and grab your products. Everything is 37% off from now until December 4th. Use promo code CYBER25. Type it in as one word to get your 37% off discount. All right. Mm, Here, right here. Yes. I remember Big Judah said something that really rang true. He said, "We have been in a spiritual fight for a long time. Now that we see Three-Eye Atlas and all these things happening, it's about to turn physical." And he's right. We haven't gotten to the physical part real good yet, but that is definitely coming. Donald Trump is planning the 250-year anniversary of America this coming 4th of July of 2026. Do you know these folks, these Gentiles, these colonizers, have never ran a society past just a few hundred years? It usually unravels and fall apart because they can't run a society. They can't. The only reason why this one lasted as long as it did is because we're here. If we weren't here, this mess would have crumbled a long time ago. So please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know what, y'all? America is very crippled right now. It is in a crippled state. Anytime you got a president that don't even want to show you the job numbers because it's that bad, anytime they are always doing redistricting, because if you don't do that, you're never going to win. You know what I mean? If you got to do all kinds of trickeries and stuff like that, you should know it's pretty much over for you. It really is. If you got to hide stuff and switch things all around, and it's over. You should just accept that it's over for you. All right, y'all, let's get started.
Every time I try to talk about the Antichrist, something happens to the video. And I'm coming back because I'm not going to be stopped. But listen, have y'all been paying attention to the ThreeI Atlas? The ThreeI Atlas that's coming into it's here. But it came into our solar system and it was discovered July the 1st. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Well, you should, because listen, this is all part of the plan. But hold on. The red heifer that they said that they didn't sacrifice on July the 8th. Maybe they wasn't lying, because it was July the 1st, the same day that ThreeI Atlas was discovered. That is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence. The fallen angels, You know what I'm talking about? The fallen angels? Welcome to ThreeI Atlas. Hello. Hello. It's all playing out. It's all happening. And the people talking about the rapture, listen, stop. I know I sound crazy, but the people who thought y'all was going to be gone on the 23rd, you made me look normal. But when my brain is getting the downloads like this and everything is linking up, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. No. Pay attention. ThreeI Atlas and the red heifer. Go do your research. Go look. I love y'all. Bye.
I've got another update on ThreeI Atlas, which is that interstellar visitor that is moving through our solar system. And honestly, combined with everything that is happening on Earth right now, I'm just going to say it. Spiritually, something is shifting. Now, what we know factually is that observatories have picked up new absorption lines from ThreeI Atlas, confirming that it is actively shedding water and volatiles in a way that we don't normally see. AKA, this thing is not behaving like our normal comets. Its chemistry is different, and NASA's new ultraviolet images show a massive hydrogen halo that is surrounding it, kind of like it's glowing from the inside out. The ESA has also refined its trajectory using data from Mars orbiters. So at this point, we know where it's headed. It's moving through the inner solar system on a path that brings it closest to Earth, or Earth's orbit system around early 2026, before it's going to continue outward and leave out of our system entirely. Now, it is a visitor. It's not a returning friend. But here's where it gets a little interesting. At the same time that we are watching something from another star system react in ways that we have never documented before, our Earth is responding. We've got the Halley Gooby erupting for the first time in recorded history. We've got multiple other volcanoes that are globally showing heightened activity, and reports of white animals appearing. The white deer in California that was seen in October, the lynx in Spain that was also seen in October. These are animals that have been associated with thresholds, with transitions, and with major energetic shifts in multiple traditions. Now, I know that science is not connecting these events. I am, but there's no official claim that the comet is triggering volcanoes or behaving or changing animal behavior, and I'm not saying that either. But here's what I am saying: the timing is uncanny, and spiritually, it feels like a wave, like a visitor from beyond our system shedding water, which is the element of memory, of purification, and of emotional release. It's like the earth is opening, it's shaking and erupting. And I see this as fire, which is transformation, pressure, rebirth. And the world showing us the white animals, I see this as the archetype of messages, which is purity, thresholds, and new eras. It's water, fire, and omen put together, above, below, and in between. To me, that says that something is happening on a collective energetic level, not in a fearful way, but in a way that wakes people up and reconnects them and makes them pay attention to what they have been ignoring. Now, again, to be clear, I am not saying that ThreeI Atlas is causing volcanoes or summoning animals. But spiritually, when something enters our solar system from another star system, that behaves differently than anything that we have ever tracked before, and Earth starts moving loudly and symbolic animals start appearing everywhere, that makes me pay attention, because sometimes the universe doesn't send one sign. Sometimes it sends a pattern. And in my opinion, this is a pattern.
These heathens are they're already in their bunkers. You know, they've moved on to military bases and all of that. And I mean, all of the government figures that should be out here like the average person, but they're not. They're not. They're in bunkers right now, and they're not in bunkers because They believe that there is going to be a war on the ground with another country. That's not the reason why they're in their bunkers. They've known all along that there was something in the sky. It's just us catching up and to this prophecy. This prophecy, it was prophetically told, and in Second Ezra it says that they would be fighting against each other, and then when they realize that it was our brother Hamashiach, they would leave the battle between each other, and then they against each other, and um, and they would battle the Most High. They would battle Hamashiach. And so they know what's inside the sky, and the sun is heating up. And it reminds me of this dream that I had when I was homeless and I was living in the Shenandoah Valley, where there were nothing but white folks around me. And I just had this little room. There's just white people around me, and I rented this little room, and I was just getting back on my feet a little bit, and I fell asleep, and I dreamed that there was just fire in the sky. It was like a battle. It was like the U.S. was at war. The world was at war. It was like Armageddon in the sky. And I am no prophet. I'm the first to say that right there. I don't even like to tell about dreams, but that dream happened. And another thing that happened inside of that dream was a voice just spoke and said, "You are protected." And so if you notice that and that was when I was asleep. I was asleep at the time when I had the dream. That was in 2016 when they got their first when it was when their savior went in the first time around. The first time around. Um and it was 4 or 5 years. I didn't come back to be around my kinfolks until 2019. Everything just kind of lined up. But the Most High knows what He's doing. I mean, He knew what He was doing, but He showed me that. He showed me that. And at first I thought that it was about January 6th, but that does not match up. It does not match up because January 6th, they went into and they defecated on the walls and peed and did all of their nasty stuff and did all kinds of violence, but there was not an Armageddon in the sky. This has to happen because the Most High is cleansing this earth. And that's what the sun is about. That's what these planes are about. That's what the earthquakes are about. The Most High has to cleanse this earth in order to make it right for us, for the New Jerusalem. And you can bet your life that there will not be scoffers, nor adulterers, liars, and cheaters going into the New Jerusalem. And that's one of the reasons why I'll say, consecrate yourself. The truth is that, the writing is on the wall, and all of these prophetic words in the Bible concerning judgment and then also our deliverance. Um, it's all over the Bible. Yet many of us will say that's wormwood. If we say, well, there was a sign in the sky, that right there, that's cloud seeding. If we, and then we'll give, some of us will give the credit to CERN. And then even repeat the words that they're communicating with CERN. Well, why would they want to communicate with something as evil as what it has, as CERN is, or anybody else who is as evil as these heathens have been in regards to the children of Yasharel? I am convinced of this right here. Like when we say, like some people will say, be not deceived, even the very elect will be deceived, can be deceived in those days. That can work in two directions. We have been deceived all of our lives by the Black church. We've been deceived all of our lives. Yet, um, we will come and we'll use like that one scripture right there, and we'll use words like wormwood, and it tells me, I don't know about you, but it tells me that the relationship, the deep relationship, the intimate relationship, the love affair that we need with the Most High, that we need with our mother, the Ruach HaKodesh, that is missing in a lot of our lives because we believe that some of us believe that the Most High is setting us up to drop us. What kind of father is that? What kind of father is that? If we are keeping the covenant and we're holding fast to his words and learning to do what is right by our fellow man, and learning to embrace our family and learning to seek deeper his word, to find out what is really going on. If we develop a love affair, and that's what I have. I'm not perfect, but I have a love affair. I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning many times. Sometimes I get up earlier than that. And I'm just like, I just want to know more. And I'm not willing to like stay stuck there inside of the 66 books. But if we are willing to go deeper, then we'll know that our Father is not setting us up. He's not setting us up to drop us like that. Deception can move in both ways. We've been deceived all of our lives. And so don't allow yourself to be deceived into believing that this is wormwood and miss out on the ship. Don't miss out on this ship. This really is about a love affair and trusting our Father as children. In the very beginning of my walk, the Most High told me, don't ask any questions, just do. Be obedient. And that's what I have tried to do. And that's what we have to develop that type of relationship where we're just like, I just want to do what my Father tells me to do. If he tells me to post videos, even though I hate posting videos because I'm actually really, really shy, then it's like, okay, sit your hips down and get the video done for the children of Yasharel. Our father and our mother love us. And this is not wormwood in the sky. There's nothing about this ship that is falling. And so why would people utilize that one little scripture inside of Revelations? And then they say, that's wormwood, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out because ThreeI Atlas is about us. It's about us. It's about us. And if we understand that Christianity did something to us, our brains, it did something to our brains. We have to deprogram ourselves. And that's deep. That's really, really deep because it's not just accepting that Yahusha or Yahweh is not white and that his name is not Jesus, but it is about deprogramming everything that Christianity has taught you. Some of us will say, well, like I believe and no, this is not a religion. No, you can say that you believe it's not a religion, but if you bring that stuff to this table, then you're bringing that pork eating stuff to the table, then it means that you are not really embracing that this is not about religion at all. It's not about religion. It's not about the things that they've used to control us. This is about a covenant that the Most High made with his children. And if the curses are real, then our deliverance is real. I've kept you way too long. You never hear of those people over in the church talking about the Torah, the covenant. And that was the one thing that the Most High made with his children. And if we are keeping the covenant and we are entertaining the Ruach HaKodesh, we have nothing to fear, for we are protected. Be at peace, children of Yasharel. I know I kept you too long, but be at peace. ThreeI Atlas is about us, and the time is upon us. The sun is spewing out fire right now. Be at peace. We are protected. Shalom.
Enoch is in heaven vibing out with God and the angels, right? And God's like, hey, yo, Enoch, look at those tiny little bright lights. They're called stars. They're actually divine beings that each have their own job, their own orbit. But sometimes, occasionally, some of them like to freestyle their trajectory, and I have to banish them. Fast forward to today, NASA has found a comet, ThreeI Atlas, that is moving at 130,000 miles per hour like it's late to the rapture. It's spewing water like a cosmic water hose, and it's glowing green, which is not unusual for comets. But still, that sounds a whole lot like what God was describing to Enoch in the book of luminaries. Because Enoch would have said, yup, just another rebellious luminary. Meanwhile, scientists are over here telling us it's just dust and ice. Enoch wasn't the only one that talked about rebellious stars, though. You've got the Hopi Nation talking about the blue star Kachina. The Mayans believed that a comet would come along and reset the world. And then, of course, in Revelation, you have the wormwood prophecy that's going to turn the waters bitter. 3 different cultures, one message that when a star breaks orbit, humanity is going to get its ass whooping for how it acts. Maybe these aren't warnings of doom. Maybe they're just celestial reminders that we should respect the earth and shift with it when it shifts. Because whether 3i Atlas is a rebel star, a celestial messenger, or just space ice with main character energy, it is on brand for the end of the world. Or is it just another Tuesday in 2025? I don't know. Rebellious stars. Because whether 3i Atlas is just a
Y'all want to know the real reason why the government and NASA is obsessing over 3i Atlas and why we are seeing so many shooting stars? Well, y'all know the saying, as above, so below, right? What we are witnessing is angels being casted out of the heavens. In other words, fallen angels, demons. Every single thing that happens in the physical happens in the astrals first. And y'all know what that means, right? People that are in positions of power is about to lose their seat. They are losing the control that they had over the masses. And the reason why judgment took so long is because somebody, somewhere, had to be strong enough to open this portal to the highest dimension possible to let in these angelic beings that bring judgment. You may know them as the archangels. They have officially crossed over into this realm. So be prepared to see these changes in the physical.
So they're saying there's a comet called 3i Atlas heading straight for Earth. Even some are saying that it might be an alien spaceship. I'll show y'all a video, then we'll talk about what the Bible says.
Mysterious space object is hurtling towards Earth, and while it could just be a comet, a renowned theoretical physicist is pushing the possibility that it could be a nuclear-powered spacecraft. This is the image of the so-called 3i Atlas, raising new questions, with Harvard professor Avi Loeb theorizing this Manhattan-sized space object could be emitting its own light. And if that's the case, it could indeed be alien technology. Adding to the mystery, 3i Atlas also appearing to lack something all comets have in common, a tail. So what exactly could this be, and are we ready for it?
We don't have evidence for nuclear power, but we have evidence that there is no tail behind the object. So we see the object as red, and there was a suggestion maybe dust in front of it is making it red, but in fact, there is not enough dust. There is very little dust in front of it. We need to use all space assets to learn more about it. If it happens not to be a comet, we need this will be a wake-up call. We need to establish some organization that will, in the future, interpret interstellar object and tell us about the risk. And we might want to deploy spacecraft in orbit around the sun that will serve as an alert system or an interceptor system that will defend our planet.
Hope that y'all are not believing this, because they have an agenda behind what they're doing right now. Think about this. When has news networks ever told us that there might be a possibility of an alien spaceship heading for Earth? They wouldn't. They would never do that without an agenda. Is this going to be how they try to bring about the Antichrist? Well, space isn't what they tell you that it is. They want you to believe that we're on this round ball hurling through space when the Bible doesn't support that at all. The Bible describes Earth as a flat disc surrounded by or floating on water, supported by pillars or foundations. Isaiah 40:22 describes God sitting above the circle of Earth. Disc-shaped view from above, not a globe. Earth is flat with a dome going around it, kind of like a snow globe. It sits on pillars. Nothing can get into this Earth and nothing can go out. No one's ever left this Earth. NASA's never left this Earth. Elon Musk's never left this Earth. And it's all a lie. Everything about space is a lie. God didn't allow them to build the Tower of Babel to heaven. He's not going to allow us to get to heaven now. He's the same God yesterday, today, and forevermore. I don't believe nothing about anything they say that's hurling towards Earth. Whatever ends up coming from the sky is a part of their plan, and they know exactly what's going on. That's not saying fallen angels and demons don't exist. That's just saying that they're already here. They're not coming from space. They just want to give us the illusion that they came from space. But just be on the alert, be on the watch out. Deception is coming. I don't know exactly how it's going to come, but it's coming. And remember, Jesus told us this. He doesn't come back to this earth as no man to set up no kingdom. He already came once. He is the King of kings and Lord of lords. He is God. He doesn't have to come here and claim that he's God and prove it to us. He said, see that I have already told you this beforehand. If they say he's in the desert, don't even go out and look. If they say he's in the inner rooms, don't believe him. Lightning flashes from the east to the west. That will be his coming. His coming is going to be quick. Whatever you do, don't believe no man that comes to this earth claiming to be the Messiah, Jesus Christ, God, whatever he does. Don't believe anything that you see in the sky.
So what does an old Native American prophecy, a comet heading towards Earth, Greek mythology, and biology all have to do with something that's going on currently right now? The Hopi people were a Native American tribe indigenous to northern Arizona, that kind of area. They had this prophecy that signaled the end of the fourth world, which is the world that we are currently in the signaling of a new one, the new fifth world. One of these signs was a star that they called Kachina, blue star Kachina. They used the color blue. Blue signaled awakening for them. And so that was what manifested in the prophecy and the vision. Now we have this interstellar comet, ThreeI Atlas, and we're going to go deep into this. I'm not telling you what you think. I'm just going to connect some dots because I think it's interesting to me. Pattern recognition is a really cool thing. And I think it can open you up to a much broader existence because nothing is coincidence. Everything's connected. 3I in the context of the comet just means that the third interstellar comet. There were two before it. This is the third interstellar one, which just means that it doesn't come from our solar system. There's only been 2 interstellar comets confirmed before this. I'm not going to go into those ones, but all you really need to know is this is the third the third interstellar one. It's moving on a hyperbolic path, which means that it's unbound. It's not going in an orbit. It's going on its own path, which is already pretty rare. Sunlight has heated it up. It's developed a tail and a glow. And most of the pictures that have been released show that glow having that kind of teal blue tint. This picture is just something I pulled from the internet. Just want to throw that out there. I don't think this is an actual picture of ThreeI Atlas. I'm pretty sure it's not. So what's cool is that it's approaching perihelion, which just means it's that coming to the closest point that it can to the sun. And, you know, the sun, when you think astrologically, the sun really represents like our consciousness. That is the source in a lot of senses. So it's coming to the closest point in our consciousness. Now, if we want to connect some dots, ThreeI Atlas, let's first start with 3I. Your third eye. Some people call it your first eye. The eye, the pineal gland, because the pineal gland and the third eye are the same thing. It's this gland or eye that allows you to perceive beyond the veil in a sense. It allows you to perceive higher frequencies so that you can process things that are going on in the unseen world in a lot of contexts. Atlas, the Titan in Greek mythology that was sentenced to hold the world on his shoulders for eternity. Your C1 vertebra, also called your Atlas, because it holds the world on itself. It rests the world on its shoulders. The mind, all is the mind. Atlas, or your C1 vertebra, is the bridge that connects your mind with your body, or heaven to earth. The prophecy really indicates that there's going to be a time where humans, us, are misaligned with the energy of earth. And because of this misalignment, there needs to be a purification or a reset that ultimately brings people back to their connection to earth and connectedness all around them. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you how to think. I'm just connecting these dots because ultimately things are symbolic by nature. The universe communicates in signs, symbols, and synchronicities. So when you see stuff like this all connecting, like the dots kind of connecting together in weird ways, it's something to know. And I'm not going to say point blank period that this comet, 3I Atlas, is the blue star Kachina that people were talking about, the Hopi were talking about from time and time back. All I'm saying is it's a symbolic return of something that we forgot. Symbolically, this is really talking about the awakening that everybody is going through right now on a small scale, on a large scale, whatever it is, the intensity for you, it doesn't really matter. Everybody is going through some level of awakening. The third eye, the pineal gland, is becoming decalcified. And because it's getting decalcified, people's third eyes are opening more and more. And because it opens more and more, you're able to see truth. You're able to connect these patterns and see beyond the veil, because the veil is truly thinning. It's all signaling the arrival of a new spiritual age. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what to think or how to think. I'm just going to connect these dots because it's interesting to me. And I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where you think I'm right. Let's just have a dialogue about it. I love talking about this stuff.
As you see, there's a lot of people with different beliefs. But one thing, they know change is gonna come. Now that white dude talking about don't believe what's in the sky and don't believe that you know what? Okay, I've heard this from people before. So when I look at the moon, I'm not supposed to believe that moon is there or those stars that I see are there. But I've heard that from other people before. Oh, don't believe what you see in the sky. None of that is real. Okay, so the moon's not real, the sun's not real, the stars aren't real. Nothing up there is real. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable what people choose to believe, but you can tell the awakening, we are not all on the same level in this awakening. Some are way more heightened than others. You can tell. You can even tell by the way certain people speak, you know? And yeah, just like that one dude, to me, that means you don't want to see this change happen. That's why nothing is real to you up in the sky because you don't want to see the change happen. But at the end of the day, the Most High said, change is coming. It is written and it will happen, period. And there's nobody on this planet that can change prophecy, plain and simple. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I really do have to get to the orders. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I will post the current event that I'll be doing with True Royal and the one LVZ tomorrow. We have a lot of great topics we're going to touch on. So that's going to be 3 Eastern time tomorrow afternoon. So I hope you can all be there. I really do. So, y'all, please enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you so much for joining me today in my live streams. I deeply appreciate it. And I have more for you coming tomorrow. Shalom, family.